Okay, guys, another quick video. This one is going to look at an alternative way. Going to test on if you can read maps. They might give you a map section that you find that section on the map and identify the four common points, or they might ask you to go to a section and tick a grid as to what is true and what is false. And that's the one we're going to look at today. Okay, so you've all practiced, and in your mock, it was the other version where you're given four squares. You go and match what is it, this what's that feature, and you say it's hospital. This is another way of doing it. You've got this section on the map, okay, and then they give you a grid which you tick three true statements. So there's about seven, eight statements there. Three are true. You have to look at the map section and determine which ones are true. So first of all, you go to the map, these exact squares starting at 7494. You open the map extract, okay? Well, you won't open it, you've got a real map there. But I already know that that extract is matching this area here at the bottom left-hand corner, okay? Round this town, Anthony's or whatever it is, okay? So the questions are going to be pertaining to maybe the relief or settlement types and function, land use or whatever around this area, okay? So I'm going to go back to the statements and which ones are true or false. I'm not going to go to all of these, but just give you an idea. It is an area of steep and gently sloping relief. Where is it? Let's have a see where the map's gone. I don't know where the map's gone. See if we can find the map. Right, it is an area of gently sloping and steep relief. Okay. Right. Well, we've got lots of contour lines, 280, 250, 235, a peak there, plateau of 240, 250. Well, yeah, kind of gently sloping, I would say. It's not flat, is it? So what is it asking us? It's asking us, is it an area of steep sloping and gently sloping relief? It's quite. Or then the next one, is it a mountainous area? Is it flat land? Well, it's not flat land, so we can rule that one out. Okay. So let's look at the first two. Is it an area of steep relief? Is it a mountainous area? Let's go to the answers just to be sure. Okay. Let's find the answers. Oh, there it is. It's an area of steep and gently sloping relief. Okay. It is an area of steep. It's this one is the answer. We go back to the map. Look, it's not flat. We've got contour lines. Yeah. So some areas like here we can see, oh, that's at the area. But certainly around this area, the contour lines can be quite steep. We're going up to 290, 250. It's not flat land. It's steep and gently sloping. Some of these slopes, like in this area, contour lines show us that they are gently sloping. It's not really, really steep. But in this area, it's a bit steeper, okay, a bit closer together contour line. So the first one would be true, be one of our three true statements. It is a mountainous area. No, whilst it's got contour lines and it's got relief at 240, it's not really mountainous and it's certainly not flat. The next question, the highest point is 250 meters. So we're going back to our map in our area. Well, no, it's not because we can see 290, we can see 280. So that one isn't true. That's not a correct thing. The area is all steeply sloping. Well, no, it's not. There's some gently sloping areas. The area is a floodplain. Well, don't see a floodplain. Don't normally get floodplains in these kind of areas. Perhaps this area. Don't think so. We'll have a look in a minute. But we're just looking to see what we can interpret from the contour lines. The land is below 300 meters. I think that's probably true because I didn't see any spot heights or contours above, and I still don't. So that's our second true one. There are a few rivers. Well, there's certainly one river here, and that might be another river there. I'm not going to take the time to look at the key, but you're analysing and thinking geographically. Um, is that might be a lake actually there? That certainly looks like a river, but I can't be sure on the size. But that could be true. It could be true. There is a large river. There is a swamp or marsh. So I'm just checking. If there's a swamp or marsh, it's going to be labelled on the key. Okay, let's have a look at the key. You'll be looking at the key. You'll be checking. Look, here we go. Sand salt marsh. Okay. Do we see any of that kind of shading in this area? I'm not sure I do. It's not salt marsh because it's not near the coast, but they're here, actually here, look. This area looks like it's a salt marsh, so that could be true. But you've got to investigate. You've got to use your knowledge, okay? Look at this area. Now, is there a large river? It's a bit hard for me to see on this scale. I don't think there is. The large river's over on this side, okay? And I don't think that's in our defined area. I'll just check. Our defined area goes out to 80. 80. Now, 80 finishes here, so we're in here. I don't think there is a large river. Okay, the large river's over the other side. So which are true? Well, the first one is true. That's not true. Flatland, not true. The highest point is 250 meters. That's not true. The area is all steeply sloping. I don't think that's true. It's all some gentle slopes. There is a floodplain. I don't think so. The land is below 300 meters. Yes, there are a few rivers. I didn't see them. There is a large river. I didn't see that. Could be wrong. Um, and then the final, there is a swamp or marsh. I think that's true, but I haven't really. This is more to show you these type of questions. Now, let's see. There is a steep, yes. The land, yes. There are a few rivers. Okay, I missed that one. Okay, that's probably because I'm looking at a small version of the map on the screen. Let me see. Let's look closely. Okay, yes, there's a river here. Your map will be bigger and more readable. There's something here looks more like a lake, but yeah, okay, there's a few rivers in there, but you'll have a bigger version, not this tiny little electronic version I'm looking at. And in any doubt, you just check against the key. Rivers will be clearly identified. Now, I thought there, again, I've got a very small version in front of me, that this area here seems to be have some dots in it. Again, it's a much smaller version than you'll get, and I thought those dots were identifying some sort of salt marsh, but clearly not. Okay, we're looking at rivers. Okay, so there are three things you've been asked to identify. It takes time. You need to use a bit of common sense, process of elimination. What is true, what is not true. Okay, so that's another way. That's another way that they can test your basic knowledge of being able to orientate around maps. You could get a section, what is point A, B, C, and D? Or it could be, here's an area, tick the boxes, which statements are true? Normally three are true. Or you can compare and contrast. They could give you area A and area B and say, what is the difference? They both have rivers. You need to look in A and B, grid A, grid B. Do they both have rivers? Is that statement true or is it false? Maybe one only has river. It might be both areas are flat, and you'll see one is clearly not flat, and you tick the appropriate box. It's a process of thinking, elimination, okay? Use your mind, okay? So we're going to finish that one now, and that'll be the last one on maps, I think.